Hello and welcome. My name is Jason and I'm the owner and founder of Reforming Trauma Coaching and Counseling. For those of you that made it past this introduction sentence, well done, congratulations, your attention span is a lot longer than some other people's. So what is the point of this video? The point of this video is to understand why a lot of people complain about not having the attention and the focus that they used to have. What is some of the reasons behind that? Is it ADHD or is it something else? Let's go. I have a lot of clients who primarily challenge in life is attention and focus, particularly within the workspace, right? They come to me and they say, look, I'm struggling to focus. I can't complete tasks. Everything seems so mundane and so boring. I can't even commit to writing an email because I get so distracted and I just get uninterested and off I go doing something else rather than what I should be doing. They also complain that this has been since the pandemic. And my question is, okay, what were you doing during the pandemic? The reply is often, well, I was doom scrolling for 5 hours, for 10 hours, for 15 hours a day on social media, on TikTok or on Instagram. What is the consequences of doing that? You've essentially rewired your brain to have the attention span of 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds maybe, right? This is the average length of some of the videos. Obviously now they're getting a little bit longer because that's what the demand is for. But the consequences of staring down at the screen, making a decision about whether the content that you're watching is interesting or not within a matter of seconds, and then actively doing something in terms of your tolerance towards that uninteresting thing by scrolling away has retrained your brain to now view other things in a similar way, right? So here comes a task that you're assigned at work, you assess it within a few seconds, okay, this is not interesting, I don't have the tolerance skills to be able to endure this. Off I go to make a coffee, off I go to watch Instagram, things like that, right? So that's the consequence of social media, in my opinion, at least. Anyway, it's really kind of restricted the amount of time and attention that we now focus on things. If you think back to at least my generation, you watch a TV program, you had no choice over how to, well, you really didn't have a choice over how the speed or the intensity at which you watch that TV program, right? You can obviously decide within a few seconds, okay, I don't like this program, I'm going to go out and play, but you couldn't fast forward, you couldn't skip anything. The commercials are there, which lengthen the time period that you had to stay focused on it. If it was a really good program, the content of the program was probably 20 minutes, but it probably went for about 30 or 40 minutes with the ads, right? So if you're watching TV a lot, then your brain was probably programmed to have the attention span of 30 or 40 minutes. The same thing with videos. Obviously with VCRs, you can fast forward and things like that. But it's very, very, very different now to what it used to be. Even if you're reading books, yes, you can read the blurb of a book, get an idea about whether it's interesting or not. But to sit down and read a book takes time, right? It can take you days, it can take you weeks, it can even take you months, depending on the length of that book. So again, that means days, weeks, and months of drawn out attention rather than a 10-second attention span. Scroll to the next video, get that dopamine rush, get that endorphin rush, scroll to the next one, and constantly chasing those highs. Sorry. So how do you overcome this limited attention span? A lot of people look at it and say, okay, well, I've heard of this 30 minutes on, 5 minutes off rule, 30 minutes work, 5 minutes break. How well or how easy is that going to be to accomplish a 30-minute focusing task when you're limited to 10, 15, 20 seconds? You know what I mean? 30 minutes is going to seem like an eternity. So maybe you need to start with where you're currently at in terms of attention span. So if you notice that your attention span is 10, 15, 20 seconds long, that's where you need to begin building it upon, right? So what's the first thing that you can do if you had to send a work email? That will take 10 seconds. Turn on the laptop, open up a browser, something like that, right? Open up your email. That's the first 10-second thing that you can do. Whew, done that, right? Okay, how do I endure this for a little bit longer? Well, now I tried 15-second task. What is that? Maybe I need to find the contact that I need to email. Maybe it's writing a few words. Maybe it's writing a sentence. Whew, okay, done that. What's next? Then it's increasing upon that, right? In increments. You're trying to increase your attention span again so that it reaches a more normal, quote unquote, level, right? Where you can perform tasks at work without getting distracted straight away. Obviously, you don't want to hyper focus on something where you're focusing for 2, 3, 5 hours at a time and you're not eating, you're not doing anything else. but you want to increase that attention and focus level again beyond that 10, 15, 30 second mark, right? Makes sense. There we go.